Welcome back to Lesson 4 of our Distance Learning Series. Wow, Lesson 4 already? Time sure is going by fast, but I can see from all of your submissions that you're working hard at home. In the previous lesson, you were asked to think about how natural selection could work to change the Lithopodius population from sandy-colored rocks to green mossy ones. In a moment, I'm going to show you an example of an explanation so that you can compare what you wrote to this example. Therefore, you need a pencil, your completed journal slip, and your science journal. Before I show you the sample explanation, I want you to know that this is your opportunity to really assess what you do or do not understand. The nice thing about being at home is that you can be honest with yourself about the quality of your work and the level of your understanding. While your explanation doesn't need to exactly match the one on the screen, your writing should contain all 5 key terms. These terms should also be used in a way that conveys a deep understanding. Make any corrections or additions right on your slip. If you have a lot of corrections, there's no harm in rewriting or retyping your explanation. You'll have to refer to this work in later lessons, so you want it to be the best it can be. And of course, if you still have questions, feel free to reach out by email. Here's the example response. The process of natural selection works to change the Lithopodius population from sandy-colored creatures to green ones. Even though most of the Lithopodius members look sandy-colored, a few members are bright green. This variety among members allows the population to resist extinction when new weather patterns like rain cause the landscape to become green and lush. Now, the predator, or environmental pressure, easily spots and devours the sandy-colored organisms. This leaves behind the better adapted green ones. Green-colored organisms blend into their surroundings and avoid being eaten. These green members survive long enough to reproduce and pass on this helpful genetic trait. After multiple rounds of survival and reproduction, the population starts to look more and more like the green-colored background. How does your explanation compare? Pause this screencast now to make any revisions. Now, in an earlier lesson, I said that Lithopodius nulla was a fictitious creature. But you may be wondering if the scenario you saw in the video clip was based on a real one. Let's have some fun and do a quick Google search. In a moment, I want you to pause this screencast and open up a Google search bar. Type Living Stones Lithops just like you see on your screen. Explore a few websites and see if you can find the answers to these questions. What are lithops? Where can you find them? Why do they look the way they do? What's the advantage? Write or type your notes on your completed journal slip. What are you waiting for? Pause this screencast and get searching. Now, here's a website that you might have come across during your search. I'm going to click so we can link out. It's from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And it actually says that lithops are small plants from southern Africa. The first lithops were discovered by William John Burchell during a botanical expedition in southern Africa. When he was traveling, he found this strange-looking brown stone with a fissure across the surface. But on closer inspection, these strange-looking stones turned out to be a succulent plant. So while the Lithopodius in the video was an animal, these stones are actually plants. Lithos means stone and opsis is like. These plants are just like stones. But why do they need to look like stones? In another website, I found that lithops are true mimicry plants. Their shape, their size, their color causes them to resemble small stones. The plants blend in among the stones as a means of protection. Grazing animals, which would otherwise eat them during periods of drought to get the water, would usually overlook them. So instead of being animals in disguise, these lithops are plants in disguise. Okay, So for today, I need you to submit your corrected journal slip with the revised explanation and the lithops notes. Feel free to go and keep searching different websites. There's plenty of pictures out there about these living stones. Until tomorrow, I want you to keep thinking and keep learning. Like we saw with our lithops, cool natural events are literally everywhere.